Hello folks, hope you're all doing well. This isn't exactly the video I had planned for today. I had been up with the plot. I mean, it's about, I don't know what, 9:30, 10 o'clock now, and I'd been up with the plot since around about 8 o'clock, maybe it's just a little bit after, because I was going to dig up all the last of the main crop potatoes there today. But however, it is absolutely chucking it down outside. It wasn't meant to rain today, but since I dropped my wife off at the train station and I was going to head to the allotment, it has not stopped since. I've been up there, I was up there for about an hour and a half, pottering about inside the polytunnel, doing little bits and pieces of jobs, but the rain was never going to stop, and it's still, even now, 2 hours later, it's still absolutely tipping it down. Not to worry, because there's still plenty of things to be getting on with, and I mentioned the other day that our parcel from DT Brown came. Nothing to do with them, it's just where I like to get my seeds and things from, not sponsored, nothing like that. So we got the collection from them, which is the garlic, the onions and the shallots. So I had intended on doing this video in sort of two halves and putting them together. One where it would show me prepping the beds up at the allotment, ready for these to go in, and the other for getting these ready now, because I'm going to give them a good sort of 3 or 4 weeks to get them started. Because up at the plot, you might remember from the last video I showed you, we're right at the end, there's a big massive row of trees where the pigeons like to live. And, you know, when these start to grow and the little green shoots come up from the top, the pigeons go, oh, they look tasty. And they come over and they start pecking, and they pick the onions and the shallots and the garlic out of the ground. They don't eat them because they don't like them, but it unroots them, uproots them, is that what you say? Something like that, anyway. And it tips them all over the place, a big mess, gotta go put them all back in. So if you get them started and you get them up to a decent height, put them in, then the birds aren't interested. And the other good thing about that is it gets the root system started nice and early on before putting them in the ground. I mean, I probably will put some straight in the ground because one of the beds I'm going to use has got a cover over it, and I've probably got more onion sets and shallots than I've got trays ready for here today. But not to worry, we'll do what we can today. I've got other trays. I'm not gonna bore you with just to show you. So, you know, we've got the mega grow trays, and these are solid plastic, and these will last for ages. I could fill that up with onion sets, but I'll not bore you with all that. We'll just do one tray of each, just to show you how I'm going to do it. And it's going to be pretty much the same for all of them, I think. And we've got different size cell trays here. We've got the little 60 cell Charles Dowden ones, and we've got the normal sort of cheaply plastic ones that have just come from B&M's. And to be honest, for getting them started, it doesn't matter that much. I mean, the onion sets are probably the smallest at the moment because the shallots look like absolute monsters. So I'm going to put them in the bigger ones. I'll start the onions off in here, but again, it's just for getting them started. So I've got some compost down here, and we're just going to get this filled up. This compost is, it's alright, it's not the best. It's got some really sort of fluffy hairy bits in there, but it's end of season stuff, and it'll, you know, it's really dry actually, because the bag's been open there for a little while because I've been using it for other stuff. So once it's wet as well, that'll really dampen it down and sort that out. What I could do is, once I've put them in, I might just put them outside and they'll be absolutely soaking in about 5 minutes flat because of the rain that's coming out there now. But not to worry, according to the BBC weather forecast, it wasn't going to rain all this week, which is why I'd planned on lifting the potatoes. But you know, I guess we know that the BBC weather forecast isn't necessarily the most reliable thing out there. Certainly I've come to find that. So we've got the compost in each of the cells there. I'm just pushing it down lightly. I'm not really compacting it really heavy there. I just want it a little lump. I just want it down enough so that the cell's full, and it's loose but firm, if that makes sense. I'm not making it really compact. And what it does as well is, when you push it down ever so lightly, it presses out any sort of air holes or gaps or things that you might have in there. You do, and it just makes life a bit easier. And we'll just get rid of some of the excess off the top there. easy as that. So what we'll put in here is the onions. There we are there, and these ones are called Radar, which is one of the ones that we're going to use for overwintering. Like I say, this was a sort of special offer pack sort of thing that we got from DT Brown. There was the shallots, the onions and the garlic all in one sort of pack. So nothing special with the onions. Out they come, just like that. Some people faff about with them. I'm just putting them straight in. I've never had a jot of bother doing it this way. And one of the other benefits, I guess, of starting things off in the cell trays like this is that any of these that don't germinate, obviously I'll just get rid of them, and they're not going to be taking up a space in a bed at the allotment. So the only things that are going to go in the beds at the allotment, one thing to do, that if you do get them, sorry, just as a side there, if you get a bit of excess skin on it, just tear that off and get rid of it while we're doing that. Yeah, so only the germinated ones will take up a space in the beds, so don't end up with any spaces in the beds, which is sort of the best for maximising that space that we've got. I'm going to use the raised beds again to get these going over the winter there, and we had some great success with the onions last year. I mean, albeit some of it was by accident. I've told this story before where I put some of the Kelsey onion plug plants in my basket when I was buying some seeds, and then I had no intention of buying them, and I completely forgot, and off I went and came back and bought the seeds. And as it turns out, the Kelsey onions were still, just making sure I've got that one the right way up, were still in the basket, so I ended up buying them. But as it turns out, they were absolutely brilliant. Some of the, if I remember when I'm doing the editing on this, I'll put a little link up there, so you'll see it sort of shoot out at the top, and it'll show you the Kelsey onions that we had. And I didn't realise at the time, but apparently it's like one of the show onions, and they're great. Oh man, they were brilliant. They were like that, and we're still using them now. We obviously don't use them for any sort of showing or anything like that, but they're great for cooking. They're absolutely magic. Doesn't do my eyes any good when you're cutting an onion that big. It absolutely wrecks your eyes when you're doing it. Anyway, I'll whiz through this next bit, and I'll be back within a jiffy once I've got all these in. Right, and there we have it. So there we are, 60 Radar onion sets, all set in there. Nothing much to it. Compost in the cells. Push it down so it's firm but not compact, if that makes sense. Now all I need to do is give them some water. Like I say, it's absolutely tipping it down outside, so I'm literally just going to pop this outside the door, because the hose pipe and the water source is all the way up, right up the other end of the garden. So that's just going to get them started and sort of start to bed them in. Hey, rainwater is better than anything else, isn't it, really, for them going. So we've got the 60 of them. Let me see, let me just move this out of the way. So how many? I think there's 20 of the shallots in there, so let's figure this out. How many is this? 5, 10, 15, that's a 40 cell one. And what have we got here? 4, 8, 12, 6, yeah, we'll use that one. Very well, so we'll use because the shallots are really big in this bag, much bigger than the ones I got last year, and the shallots were good this year as well. Actually, I'm going to use the slightly bigger trays for this one, and this type of shallot is a Germor, that's J-E-R-M-O-R, Germor shallot. So we'll give them a shot this year. We will, and we'll see how they go. And there's really not that much difference to the way I'm doing these to the way that I did the onions, but these I tell you, after using those container wise Charles Dowden cell tray things, the 60 cell ones there that I put the onions in, I mean the cells on the 60 cell ones are they're a wee bit small, and I'm maybe pushing my luck a little bit with the onions in there. But compared to these sort of traditional, the cheaper plastic ones that you get from Wilko's and B&M's and things like that, yes, the container wise ones that come in all sorts of different sizes. So I'm gonna try and get some of the bigger ones that they're just gonna last so much longer, because these ones here are a bit fragile, you know, and you only get a couple of seasons out of them before the crack and the fall apart and things like that, whereas the other ones, it's made with really sort of thick, rigid plastic, and I get the impression, you know, they're going to be lasting us like 10 years, if not a lot longer. And that's obviously really important when you're looking at the use of plastics and things like that. Tell you what I haven't done, what I'm absolutely terrible for as well, not that I really need to with these, but I made sure I wrote these out beforehand, and I've got my little sticks with the names on it, so I'm going to run out there and put the onions in before I forget. Done, and I'm back quick as a flash. And the other good thing about those sort of Charles Dowden container wise ones is the hole at the bottom's a lot bigger, so you can poke your finger in and it makes the little cell, whatever you've got growing there, come out really easily. So exactly the same for this, slightly bigger cell tray because the shallots are a lot bigger. Compost in, push it down, and let's just pop these out. There you go. See what I mean about the lot bigger? Forget one of these. Are these the insects? They might know there. Where have I put them? Oh, I've put them somewhere. Was that them? Yeah, that's them. No, it's not. They must be from last year. Yeah, I should probably tidy up in here. Here they are. Right. So that's the size of the insect. That's the size of the shallot. So it's obviously a lot bigger. So you need a bigger cell tray, and obviously it's different the way they grow, and one of the reasons why I'm overwintering these is that I guess both shallots and garlic, in the way that they grow, which is different to the onions, is that they need the frost to split. So they split certainly for the garlic, it splits the bulbs into the cloves, and the shallots, I'm not sure what you call an individual shallot. Well, a shallot, but I don't know. You know how garlics are called? Cloves and bulbs? I don't know what. Obviously you get a clump of shallots, shall we say, and that's what happens when the frost gets to the single shallot when they're growing, and it splits it. And again, that's the same with the garlic, it splits the clove into more cloves, so when you get a bulb, you don't just get one big lump of garlic, you get lots of little individual cloves. Now, as amusing as it is, and I've had it before myself, we actually had great garlic this year, that when you do get one big sort of bulb of garlic, it is quite funny, but not ideal, because it's not what you want. You want the individual cloves. Right, we're just about done with the shallots. Oh, look at that, we've got a bonus one. There's only meant to be 20 in there, and we've actually got 21. Oh, there we go, look at that. Eh? And as always, remembering to put the name label in so I know what's what. And these are going out in the rain as well. There we go, just to get them started. So the rain's on them, and where have I put my last tray? You know what, I need to tidy up in here desperately. I say I've got stuff on here that I've sown throughout the season, and it just needs tidied up a little bit, and it does. And it's a good job I've not turned the camera around and showed you over here, because the shelving unit that the camera's attached to, that's got all my pots and things on, is a right state. So the garlic, here we are, this is Provence White. There you go, that's what type of garlic it is. So you can see, when I was talking just before about how you get a bulb of garlic and then you've got the individual cloves, so slightly different to prepping this to the others, in that we need to break the bulb up. I probably should have done this before I started filming, but not to worry. I guess it shows you what needs to be done, and I try and take off with the garlic. See here, this sort of papery kind of outside skin bit, and then just leave the main bit of skin on, because then that's absolutely fine. But the sort of the really whitey coloured sort of outside bit, I just try to get that bit off. So again, we'll get this all broken up, and this is new to us this year, getting our garlic from DT Brown again as part of this kit. Last year I got it from a place called the Garlic Farm, which is on the Isle of Wight. I've been there before, many moons ago when I was a wee boy. I remember going there with my parents for a holiday, and it's a lovely place. It's a very nice place, but a long way away from me here now in Scotland. I guess it's a fair old trek down there. And just when I'm peeling these, some of them I'm just catching a little bit of skin of that sometimes, and you know, it's exposing the clove, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to take, and it's still going to grow. As you don't need to be absolutely 100% perfect with these, and just make sure you take the big root ball bit off the bottom as well. And I think that's all those cloves. I won't bore you with doing the second bulb there. So let's get some more compost in here. And again, the prep for the trays is pretty much identical as it always is. Why fix what isn't broken, eh? There it is. If it works, then let's just keep doing it. The only thing that I might do is, I don't know, this compost, actually I was going to use a different compost, but I think because the bag's been open, it's just the stuff on the very top that was a bit dry. Now that I'm down into the bag, it's a lot better. But the compost I'm using is a Grow Sure all multi-purpose, all-purpose compost. It is. It's just what I've got left at this time of year. Whatever's been in the shops when I've been there, I've not been to the garden centre recently, because I was thinking about putting a bit of autumn and winter colour up at the plot, because it's a bit brown up there at the moment, you know. A lot of the greenery, a lot of the things are out of there, and it just looks, you know, even today when I was up there, it's just a bit depressing, a bit dull. So I might look to get some plants. So was it Sainsbury's or Tesco's? Tesco's I was at yesterday, and they had a couple of big racks of bedding plants there that were sort of cheap as chips. And I was just thinking, oh, I could just get a couple of trays of them and just whack them in and about the allotment, and it'll just brighten things up a little bit. But again, the garlic, exactly the same there. Remember which way to put your cloves in. So just going in, just pushing them in. Nothing fancy, nothing special. And we had some absolutely great results with the garlic last year, and hopefully we will get the same this year. And I think following up from this video, this will probably be a bit of a three-parter, because like I said at the start, I really wanted to get the bed prep and the sort of putting in the cell trays done in one single video, but I haven't quite managed to do that because of the rain. But then again, October in Scotland, I don't really know what I was expecting. I don't know why I was expecting it not to rain, but hey ho. Anyway, right, that's the garlic in. I've got another bulb to do. I won't bore you with that. I think that's me just about done for today. These will go outside in the rain as well. We'll get them nice and watered because the compost's a bit dry. And it's just going to go and sit in the little greenhouse at the top of the garden for, you say, 3 to 4 weeks there. We're going to get the roots established on them all. We're going to get the shoots nice and tall, because then the pigeons aren't going to come along and sort of peck these all out and make a right mess of it, and I have to go up there and replant it all again. So look out for the next 2 parts for this one that'll be coming within the next month, to say the bed prep. And that's going to get done, and then we're going to transplant all these out, and I'll show you what sort of nutrients I'm putting into the soil and things like that to get these growing and get them sort of looked after over the winter. Other stuff coming up, I've still got the potatoes to get sorted. Man, honestly, it's like destiny. Those potatoes are never going to come out of the ground, but as soon as I get a couple of dry days in a row, I'll be up there and we'll get the potatoes out. And of course, there's the polytunnel, getting all that prepped. We've got the pond to put in, we've got more beds to put in. There's all sorts of stuff going to be going on all the way through the autumn, all the way through the winter. So if you would like to keep up to date with what we're doing, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. It's absolutely free. Just click the button down below. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can see everything that we get up to. Anyway, that's me done for today, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now, folks.